spoilers. Just left Final Destination, and we want to talk about it.
I think one of the things that I really want to talk about is, okay, so the mother or the grandmother, sorry, of the main character in the movie is like obsessed with death and stuff. And that's where she kind of gets the idea of all of this that's going on and learns how to try to stop it or whatever. But okay, when she goes to her grandma's house to see her house is like a huge death trap.
Yeah.
So it's like you're terrified of death, but your house is a gigantic death trap.
I was like, there's a million ways to die right there in the front lawn. At least she never long. But I was wondering, how does she eat? 20 years in the house, never left. How does she eat?
I was wondering that too.
Is she getting the gardening going on inside the house? Like maybe she's just growing some lettuce and, sprouts this whole time.
I was thinking maybe she had like somebody drop off some groceries or something at the gate, but she don't ever leave the house.
No, that wasn't it. And they weren't getting through that gate either.
No.
Something that I was wondering at the very first part of the movie, but it was just like the other movies. It was a premonition dream scene.
Yes.
And so they're drinking some champagne, and then in a moment find out that she's pregnant. And I'm like, you're drinking while you're pregnant? It's like, okay, this is the 50s. Maybe they did that more often. But then, yeah, this is the premonition. Maybe that didn't happen in real life. But movies nowadays are not afraid to kill kids or babies or anything. There's been a lot of movies here lately where they've been killing kids.
And that's what I was like, when I said it was brutal, like in the reaction and stuff, that's what I mean. Like they don't care. They're no holds bars. They're killing everybody.
Definitely.
Nobody's safe in this movie.
Yeah.
I feel like there was one other thing.
I was almost thinking that the mom was the girl from the first movies, but she'd have been too old and it wasn't her. But at first I was like kind of wondering because, I missed out on a few movies. So I don't know if these characters were returning from a previous movie or not, whatever. But I was wondering if that was the chick that survives. Clear.
So I saw a Facebook post the other day. It shows like a list of actors that were in the previous movies. They have a bunch of different actors from like the second, third, fourth, fifth. They kind of trickle them all in there. So it wasn't what I thought it was going to be, where the story was going to be about like those people from the previous movies. And, that's where the Bloodlines comes in.
I was wondering.
But they did put some of those people in the movie, I guess, just for nostalgia, so people can be like, oh, they were in the second one. Or
who was that that walked out, the owner of the tattoo parlor? There was a cameo in there. He's somebody famous. He's a wrestler or something. Who was that dude? Oh, I don't know. I can't think of
me.
I meant to look, but he's somebody. I was glad to see Tony Todd in there. They gave his little story arc, but that's not spoiler. We already talked about that.
That's what I wanted to say. I did not see the twist that he was the kid from the beginning of the movie that she saved. I should have seen that, but I didn't until that part.
Right. Because I was wondering, I started talking about him and I'm wondering, like, I like when movies do that. They'll show you something obvious, but they'll be like, well, why didn't I think of that? And then you go rewatch and like all the signs are there,
Yes.
That's just that's a testament that the story that's actually going on in the forefront has you engaged enough in the story to not analyze every single thing to know what's coming up. Some people are like that, but to your average viewer like us, the regular dudes, I don't think so.
And I thought to myself in the beginning that I knew that kid was going to play a role, once she saved him in the beginning or whatever.
Yeah, but, and then they brought it back up later on in the movie.
I just didn't think of that. It was cool.
There was something else I think I was about to say, but I don't know.
The log truck at the end, that was cool. Little homage to the second one, I think it was.
Yeah, and then the book had a bunch of stuff from the other movies, little drawings inside the book about how past people died. Oh, yeah, I remember what I was going to say. You said it's not about the other people in the thing, but the way they explain the family tree and the bloodlines and then how these people, it could all be tied, the whole franchise be tied back to that event.
Very true.
But
they didn't touch on it very much. I mean, some pictures when
Yeah.
she was flipping through the book, you saw some pictures
Yeah.
from the other movie and stuff.
Yeah, you gotta leave it up to the professionals like Eric Voss or somebody who might go through and pick apart all those details. We'll leave that to the professionals. We just want to let y'all know what the theater experience is like.
Yeah.
Um, and you know how fair the movie stands up to bring you in or out of the movie to enjoy your experience. So that's our forte.
Absolutely.
I think that's about it. So we're gonna wrap this up, man. If you're liking these videos, if you're sticking around this long, say what's up.
Drop a
Hit
like or something.
Yeah,
Subscribe.
man. Help us reach 50 subscribers. We're almost halfway there. We appreciate you guys so much. And we are
At the cinema.